This AI workflow that you're seeing on screen is just so powerful. It runs for a few minutes, but it generates content ideas for my entire week's content calendar. It generates these ideas for YouTube as well as LinkedIn, just like any other person on my team would. This intelligent AI workflow generates unique content. It scrapes Reddit to get the ideas. It then filters through whether or not that idea is something that I would cover. And if it is, it goes ahead and adds it to this Airtable, wherein I can go ahead, have a look, see what it has done, and then mark it. And if it feels that the idea is not something that I would cover on my channel, then it just rejects the idea so that I don't have to go through it. So let's see how it works in action. There are basically two ways of starting it. Either it runs every single week on its own and generates the ideas. You directly go to Airtable and you will find fresh pieces there. Or else, if you want to run it yourself, you can just come to N8N and click on Test Workflow and it will start doing its job. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to scrape Reddit. Now, it's not going to scrape the entire platform. It's going to only scrape the subreddits that you have mentioned here. For example, as per my industry, these 3 subreddits are very, very active and they are places where I could easily find content ideas. Now, instead of me or my team member going manually through the posts, this AI agent goes through them. Once it has retrieved them, it runs them through an AI agent which intelligently tells whether or not that idea is approved or rejected. So as you can see here, 10 of those were approved and 4 were rejected. After the ideas have been approved, they basically go to other AI agents which convert them into ideas. So for instance, this one does it for YouTube and this one for LinkedIn. And if we come back to Airtable, we will have a new list of content ideas. And from here, I can just basically go through them, what all it has mentioned, I can give it a read. And then if I want to take it further, I can. If I don't want to take it further, I can reject the idea. And it also mentions the post from which it got that idea. And the same thing happens for LinkedIn as well. The reason why I have chose Reddit is because that is the only place where people not only talk about new ideas, but also about their frustrations or something they would want to do and are not able to. And it's a very, very great community. The idea here is not to steal someone else's work and tell it as my own. Instead, the idea is to go through the community, see what's trending, see where people are facing issues, see what's something that I could cover and put my thoughts on, and then repurpose it based on my knowledge. So basically, this AI workflow does the content research part for you. Remember, creativity is a myth, but recombination is the truth. So moving forward, if you want to build something like this for your own personal brand so that you don't have to, think about what do I post every single time, or if you want to build this system and sell it to other businesses, then consider watching the video till the very end. I'm going to build this entire flow from scratch, and even if you're a beginner, you will be able to follow through. This is going to be a no-code approach. I will be building it for my own industry, that is AI and automation, but you can easily change the subreddits here, which I'm going to teach you how you can, and then it's going to generate them for your own industry. Okay, so before we begin, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Yashika Jain and I'm the founder of Auto-populate. I run my own AI automation agency wherein we create AI systems for businesses. If anyone's interested in working with us, then you can head over to our website. The link is in the description. And if it's a fit, we would love to work with you. Apart from that, I'm also an AI consultant and I run my personal brand on YouTube as well as LinkedIn because I really love to share the things that I have learned throughout my journey. So now let's get into the building stuff. So let's have a look at the platforms that we are going to use. The first platform where we're going to build this entire flow is called N8N. N8N is a no-code automation platform which allows us to build these cool AI agents without writing any code. And even if you don't know how to use it, if you follow through this video, you will be able to set it up. The second thing that we're going to use is going to be Airtable. So Airtable would be a place where you can edit the subreddits you want to scrape. For example, after 3 months, your interests have changed and you want to change them. So you can just come to Airtable and make the changes. And apart from that, all the ideas that come through would be added to Airtable. And from here, you can either reject an idea or approve it. And same goes for LinkedIn. For the AI intelligence, we're going to use OpenAI, but you can also use Claude or some other LLM which you like. And lastly, for the Reddit scraping part, we're going to use Apify. Apify would allow us to scrape Reddit again without writing code. Now, I will include the link to all the 3 platforms in the description below. So the first task for you would be to go there, click on them and create an account. And they would be my affiliate links. So again, that's a way for you to support the channel. And you can get started for free with all of those 3 platforms if you use the link below. And later on, if you see the value, you can upgrade. Awesome. So once you create an account on N8N, you're going to land somewhere here. The next thing that you have to do is click on this orange button that says Create Workflow. It's going to bring a blank canvas in front of you. So now it's up to you how you would want to trigger this particular automation. So in my case, I like this automation to run every single week just once and get me the ideas. Because every time it runs, it gets me at least 10 ideas, and I think they are enough for that entire week. So if you want to set that up, you're going to click on this plus icon and you're going to select on a schedule. From here, you can select weeks if you want to go with 1 week, and then this is going to remain 1. Then you can select when you would want this to trigger. So I like to trigger it on Sunday so that I get new ideas on Monday morning. So again, that's up to you. Once you have set these up, you can click on test check and that's it. If you want to run it every day, you could select days. If you want to run it multiple times in a day, you could select hours. It's really up to you and you can just configure it accordingly. The other option that you have is first select the plus icon, then go to add another trigger and select trigger manually. With this trigger in place, it's not going to run automatically. You can decide to come in anytime, you can run it, and it's going to generate the content ideas for you then and there. I just like to keep both of these options. So this is our trigger setup. Great. So now moving forward with the actions. At this point, you have to make a decision about which Reddit communities you would want to scrape. So for the people who are new to Reddit, Reddit is like a community where people join groups and talk about a certain topic. So whatever you're interested in, you can just come to Reddit, create an account, and then just search for that particular industry or niche. For example, if I'm interested in cooking, I can search for cooking, and then they will show me a lot of communities around cooking. For example, there's this one with 5.4 million people, and I'm pretty sure they talk about cooking tips, cooking for beginners, and some hacks and stuff like that. And then all you have to do is copy this part, which is after the slash. Then you will have to come back to Airtable and just simply add it here. Don't worry, I'm going to share this Airtable base with you so that you can import Airtable and you get this entire structure in place for you so that you can just start by adding the subreddits. Now it's up to you how many you want to add. Just remember that for each of them, we're going to scrape about 5 to 10 posts, and depending on the volume you're looking for, you can decide on that. So once you have added the subreddits you want to scrape, you will come back to the automation and you will click on the plus icon and search for Airtable. At this point, we're going to look into our Airtable base and retrieve those particular records so that the automation can access them. So for that, we're going to click on search records. After that, it's going to ask you to connect your Airtable account. So click on create new credential, come back to Airtable. Come to your main account, click on your icon here, and then go to Builder Hub. After that, go to Personal Access Tokens. Click on Create a new token, give it a name. For the scopes, make sure to add each and every scope. Just select all of them one by one. Okay, once that is done, for the resources, you're going to select all, and for the bases, you're going to select all current and future bases in this workspace. And then you will click on create token. It's going to give you a token. You're going to come back to the automation and paste it right here. After that, just save it and your Airtable would be connected to N8N. Now it's time for us to get these fields into Airtable. So for that, the operation is going to be search. For the base, just search for your Airtable base, which is AI content ideas machine. And for the table, you're going to select subreddits. For this, it's going to be empty. Just click on test tab. And if you go to JSON, you will be able to see that it got these 3 fields. As you can see, learn AI agents, N8N, and AI agents. And if you see here, we have the same ones here as well. This will be required when we're going to scrape Reddit, because we will have to tell it which communities to scrape. After that, don't forget to save the automation, and if you want, you can rename it as well. Okay, so at this point, we have got 3 items, or you can say 3 rows from Airtable, but while scraping, we'll have to push all 3 together. So for that, we need to aggregate them. So just search for aggregate here, and for the field name, just put subreddit. After that, click on test tab. As you can see, instead of 3 items, we now have 1 item which we can easily pass on while scraping. Okay, let's save it. Now, the next thing, right now, it's not in JSON format. So if you come to schema, you will be able to see that it's not in a JSON format, and we would want to convert it into one so that we can use it while scraping. So for that, you're going to search for edit fields. You're going to drag and drop the subreddit here. You're going to change array to string, and you're going to type here JSON.stringify, and then within brackets, we'll have this. And then you will see that in the result, you will have it as one JSON string that you can pass further. If you're new to this and you don't understand what's JSON and what's parsing and all that stuff, you don't really have to care about it at this step. You can just follow along and things will make sense as you move forward. By the way, I'm just going to include this in the resources that I'm going to share with you for this video so that you can easily copy paste it. So any prompts I use, any code or anything like that would be available for you to copy paste. Then just click on test tab. And as you can see, we have 1 string, or you can say 1 JSON that we can pass on while scraping. So let's save it. Now we're going to finally scrape it. But before that, let's just connect these 2 as well. Awesome. Awesome. So moving forward, to scrape Reddit, we're going to use Apify. Link is in the description. Create an account with them. You're going to get some free credits to get started. So Apify is basically a place where you can find these scrapers that you can use within your automations without having to code. For example, you can scrape Instagram, you can scrape websites, you can scrape Amazon, and they have 4,500 more scrapers in their marketplace. And Reddit scraper is one of them. So once you created an account, go to your account. After that, go to Apify store and search for Reddit scraper. And scroll down and look for this scraper that says com-chat/reddit-api-scraper. After that, click on it. Also, I'll try and include the link to this actor in the resource so that you can directly go to this actor instead of searching. Okay, talking about the pricing, so if you run this actor or this scraper 1,000 times, it's just gonna cost you $5. And even if you run it every single week, there are 52 weeks in an year, so just imagine. It's so affordable. Anyways, let's come back to N8N and connect it to the scraper. So for that, we're gonna use the HTTP request, as we will be making an API call to Apify. The method is going to be post. The URL is going to be this one. Again, in the resources that I will put in the description, go to that link, access the resources. There, I will put all of this URL and links and everything that you can copy paste directly. So if you're using the same scraper as myself, you're going to use this URL. If you're using some other scraper, you will have to change this part with that particular scraper's name. After that, you're going to click on send headers. The first header is going to be content type and application JSON. Again, you can just copy paste it. Then the next header is going to be accept and application JSON. And the last header is going to be your API keys, which are going to authenticate this API call. So the name is going to be authorization, and the value is going to be bearer and whatever your API key is. Let me tell you how you can get the API key. So you're going to come back to Apify. Then you're going to go to settings and then API integration. After that, you're going to see this token right here. Just copy it. Just replace your API key with whatever you had copied. So bearer, then we have one space and then your API key, whichever you had copied. Lastly, we have to send the body. So click on this. This is going to be JSON. This is going to be using JSON. And for the JSON, it's going to be this. Again, you can copy it from the resources. Now it's asking us to give a list of the subreddits that it has to scrape. Now remember, we had done that JSON aggregation stuff before. So we're going to use it right here. So we are going to drag and drop this here. And if you see in the results, you will be able to see that all our subreddits have been listed here. So AI agents, NA10, learn AI agents. Talking about the limit, so I have set it to 5. So by 5, it means that it's going to search for 5 posts from AI agents, the newest ones, 5 from this one and 5 from this one. If you want, you can increase or decrease it, or increase or decrease the number of subreddits. Now, there is a requirement that you have to pass in one search keyword. Okay, so that's a requirement of this scraper. I have just put it to NA10. You can just put it to whatever your industry is. So if you're into cooking, you could just put cooking. And it's also going to search this keyword while scraping it. And this is going to remain the same every single time. Great. After you've done this, you're going to click on test step. Okay, so as you can see, it ran successfully. Now, it takes it a few seconds or a few minutes to scrape it. So for that, we will have to make the automation wait before it goes to the next step and retrieves the results. So for that, you're going to select wait. And let's make it wait for 1 minute. I think that's pretty sufficient. And then we're going to click on test. So till now, we have told Apify that go ahead and search Reddit, okay? Now, in the automation side of things, we're going to wait for 1 minute. And after 1 minute, we're going to go back to Apify and we're going to ask it to give us the results of the scraping. Great. So after 1 minute, you will see this output green tick. After that, we will set up another API call, but this time we're going to get the results back from Apify. So what you can do is you can click on these 3 dots and then click on duplicate. Then just put it here, connect these two, open this up. This time the method is going to be get and the URL is going to be this one. Just select expression, okay? And here, what you're going to do is, instead of if it's showing you red or if it's giving you an error here, what you're going to do is you're going to look for dataset ID in the inputs pane, which we're getting from Apify, and you are going to put it right here after datasets. So in the result, as you can see, we have put the ID of the run that we had initiated. So for the headers, we only need these 2. You can get rid of the first header we had. You can just delete that one. That's not required. And for the body, you can just turn it off. We don't need a body. Then you can click on test step. Then when you click on test step, you will be able to see the response from Apify. Apify basically got us 14 posts, as you can see here. And if you go to JSON, you will be able to see all those 14 posts. So this is first post. Then if you scroll down, you're going to get all the 14 posts. So this was the Apify setup, where we were first sending a request to scrape Reddit, then we waited for 1 minute, and then we got the results back. Once this is done, just save the automation. Okay, so just to keep things a bit more organized, let's just rename the tabs. So this one is make a request. This one is get output. Okay, so if you see the outputs pane, you will see that there are a lot of things in here and one can get confused. So what we're going to do is we're going to just keep the things that we need. So for that, we're going to click on edit fields. We're going to search for edit fields and we will just get the fields that we are interested in. So the first field obviously is the text of that particular post so that we can pass it over to AI. So first is going to be self-text. You can name it as the text of the post, it's fine. The other thing that we would be interested in is the title. So whatever is the title, right? And the last thing we're interested in is going to be the URL of the post. So the URL. That's it. And you test it. So basically, we have cleared the mess and we only have the text, title, and URL for all the 14 of them, as you can see. So it's just a way to be more organized and save time while building these automations. Great. Now we're going to put up the first AI step of the automation. This AI step is going to approve or disapprove the post. So a lot of posts coming from Reddit could be promotional post, bot post, it could be something irrelevant to your industry, something irrelevant to what you do. So in that case, we will have to disapprove it instead of just filling up our Airtable with bad ideas. So to do that, you're going to click on the plus icon, you're going to go to Advanced AI, and you're going to select AI Agent. For the source of prompt, just select Define below because we want to define our own user message, and then just click on Add option and add a system message. Okay, so I've already prepared the prompt, which I'm going to paste here so that it saves both of our times. So let's quickly go through the prompt, and you will get access to this prompt for free. Just look for the resources in the description and you can just copy it. So I've told it that you are a senior content strategist on Yashika Jain's team. Your job is to review Reddit posts and determine whether they contain a repurposable idea that can be transformed into original content for Yashika's audience. So in the first paragraph, we're giving it a role. We're telling it who you are and what you do. Now in the second paragraph, we're going to clarify something. So I've told it that you are not approving the Reddit post for reposting. That's not what you're going to do. You're approving whether it has content potential, a pain point, a frustration, an insight, a hack, or an angle that we can respond to, reframe, or repurpose in our own voice. So we're making it clear that you don't have to do that. Instead, you have to do this. Then we are giving it some back context. So who is Yashika, what she does, what type of content she creates, who she creates it for, what type of platforms she uses, right? When to approve a Reddit post, when not to approve it. If the post contains a real-world problem, a misunderstanding, a frustration, some curiosity, then we can approve it. If it has a question, we can approve it. If there's an opportunity to create a tutorial around it, we can approve it, right? So I've told it when to approve it, and then I've told it when not to approve it. So if it's just a promotional post, if it's just something irrelevant, then it can just disapprove it. Then I told it that YouTube is when you want to show something visually, whereas LinkedIn is just if you want to put your thoughts. Then I've given it the output format. So we are expecting a JSON format from this AI agent. Basically, this format. So is it approved? True or false? What is the reason? Why did you approve it or disapprove it? If it's approved, then which platforms can it go over to, and some notes. So this is a very, very powerful prompt. All you have to do is change it as per your personal brand or your client's personal brand, and it's going to make amazing decisions. Now for the user message, we're just going to pass the title of the post and the text of the post. So for the title, just drag and drop it here, and for the text, just drag and drop it here. So as you can see, it's going to auto-populate it. After that, don't forget to turn on this button that says requires specific output format because we are looking for JSON. For the chat model, I'm going to select OpenAI. You're going to select whichever you want to, and I think GPT-4o is going to be a better option. Great. Now, memory is not required. Tools, we don't need it. Output parser. Yeah, this is something we will require. Now, at this point, you have three options. You can either just give an example and it's going to give you a JSON, or you can select auto-fixing output parser. That means that just in case the LLM does not follow your instructions, it's going to auto-fix it, auto-fix the output so that the automation does not break. And from what I've seen is that this AI agent these days is just simply not following the JSON structure and just breaks itself. So I'm just going to go with auto-fixing for now. You don't have to do anything here. You can just come out of it, and then you can just go ahead and select the structured output parser. At this point, you can include an example of the type of JSON you're expecting from it. So here's an example. I'm going to include it for you to copy paste. Okay, and then for the model, we're just going to select OpenAI. Okay, so you could have directly connected this one to the AI agent, but the thing is sometimes it does not follow the JSON structure and it can break your automation. So it's just good to have an extra step to secure the automation. So once this is done, you can save it and let's go ahead and test it. So I'm going to click on test step and it will start approving or disapproving the post that we had got from Reddit. Okay, so we have got the result. If you come to JSON, you will be able to see all the 14 results. So this one is approved, the reason why it approved it, the platforms it's a fit for, and a few notes. And then similarly, we have it for all the 14 ones. For example, this one was not approved, right? So yeah. Now, just to clarify, this AI agent would not generate your content idea. It's just going to approve or disapprove the post. Now, at this point, we want to differentiate between which posts were approved and which were disapproved. So we're going to put a switch module here. Just search for switch. So here, we're going to specify rules. So the first rule is that if approved is, go to Boolean and select is true. So if this one is true, then we're going to just rename it to approved. And then we're going to add another one. And then again, just put approved here and say if this one is false. Okay. And then this time, this is going to be not approved. So basically, we have two different places now in front of us. Approved ones go to the top and the disapproved ones go to the bottom. Just scroll down, click on add option and then select send data to all matching outputs and turn it on. Then click on test step and you will see that it has 10 approved posts and 4 disapproved posts. And if you come out of this, you will see 2 different branches from where you can start continuing your automation. So once this is done, just save the automation. So for the not approved post, you can either just leave it like that or you could also add it to the rejected table of Airtable. The reason why I like to do this is because later on when I'm just feeling bored, I can come into this particular table and see the posts that the AI agent did not approve, right? And maybe I find something that could be valuable for me. So for example, MCP, yeah, that's something I could cover on my YouTube channel. And this guy just rejected it. So what I could do is I could go back to the automation and I could prompt it that anything regarding MCP is something Yashika would be interested in. And from next time, it's going to include that instead of rejecting. So this is just a way to set up a feedback loop. So if you want to do that, you're just going to select Airtable. Then you're going to select create a record. For the base, you can put the name. So AI content ideas machine. The table is going to be rejected. And then you can just simply map it. So the title of the post, we are going to get from here. Then the URL here. Then the post content here. Rejection reason comes from AI, which is this one. And then for coming from, I basically want to tell it which Reddit platform, which community it's coming from. So I think we're going to find it in the very first one. Yeah, so it's basically coming from N8N subreddit, which you're going to find right here. You can also just directly search for subreddit name and you will find it. And for the notes, again, these are the notes coming from AI. And then if you test step, you will see that in your rejected table, it will start adding the records. So as you can see, it just added a few. Also, if someone is wondering why these are duplicated, let me tell you that I'm just recording at the moment and in half an hour, obviously, there are not going to be a lot of new posts in the community. So it's going to use those over and over again. That's why it is like this. But in your case, you would be running it once a week and in 1 week, there are going to be a ton of new posts. So obviously, it's not going to be duplicated in your scenario. Okay, so once this is done, just save it. Also, as I said, you will have access to this Airtable that you can just, copy to your account so that you don't have to spend time creating this table and doing all of that. So this is looking a bit messy right now. So I'm just going to click on tidy up and I think it looks better now. So let's save it. Now coming back to the approved branch. Now at this point, I would want to create two different AI agents which specialize in a particular platform. So one for YouTube and one for LinkedIn. If you want, you can also add Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's just a matter of prompting. That's it. You can add any platform. Okay, so I'm just going to add one more switch module, which is going to switch YouTube to one branch and LinkedIn to the other. So I'm just going to drag this one platform fit here. And I'm going to select if string contains YouTube. Now, I think the T is capital, so I'm just going to put it as capital. Okay, so this is for YouTube. And the next one is going to be if platform fit contains LinkedIn. Again, the I is capital. Now, right now, you're going to see an error because this is not a string. So we have to convert it into a string. So again, the same thing. We're going to type JSON dot stringify, and then within brackets, we are going to put this. So now, as you can see, it has been converted to a string and we see no more errors here. If you want, you can just copy and paste it here. Also, if someone did not get how to do this, I'm going to include this in the resources. You can just copy paste it. After that, scroll down, click on Add Options, send data to all matching outputs and turn it on. If you click on Test Step, you will be able to say that for YouTube, we have 10 items and for LinkedIn also we have 10. So, okay, that's good. And then we can rename this to LinkedIn. Great. Let's test it again. And it looks good. Let's save it. Great. So let's create the AI agent for YouTube. So I'm going to click on plus, advanced AI, AI agent. Okay, the source of prompt is going to be defined below. And by now, I think you're a master at it too. And the add option, we're going to select system message so that we can add a system message. Great. So here's the system message. Let me show you. So this is again similar to the system message of the previous agent, but this time we are telling it to actually create the content idea for us based on the post. So we're telling it that you're Yashika Jain's YouTube content strategist. Your role is to turn approved Reddit posts into long-form YouTube video concepts, okay, that are practical, insight-driven, and platform-native. And some back context about me, what I do, right? She creates YouTube videos to teach people, share frameworks, react to trends, break down problems she has seen repeatedly across clients. Her tone is clear, confident, and grounded. Your job is to turn them into clickable, useful, and original video ideas. Now I'm telling it what all it has to create. So basically, I wanted to give me a YouTube video title, YouTube video hook, a presentation style, the problem the video addresses, the call to action, and thumbnail idea. So that's all I'm asking. And then a few tone rules, and I've also given it examples of my previous YouTube videos and their titles, so that it knows that, okay, Yashika writes titles like this, or okay, Yashika knows how to do this, or Yashika has already created a video on that. So just give it a few examples and it's going to be good. And then we give it an output format example. Now in the user message, it's going to be the same story. We're going to pass the title, we're going to pass the text of the Reddit post. We're also going to pass the AI response, which was the reason for approval, which is going to be this one. And we're also going to pass the notes that the previous AI agent had given. Because if you see in the notes, it had told that for YouTube you could do this and for LinkedIn you could do that. So I think it's going to help this AI agent. If you want to rename it, you can rename it to YouTube Content Ideas Generator. The reason why I didn't merge YouTube and LinkedIn is because both the platforms are very, very different, right? You can't have one idea and just put it to both of them. So that's why. And then just turn on require specific output format because we're looking for a JSON. And then it's the same story. We're going to connect the chat model. For the model, I'm going to select 4.0. Then we're going to connect the output parser, first auto-fixing and then the output parser. Again, for the example, this is an example that I've given. Now, in your case, you could just change these to your preferred example. Like, for example, you can change it to something related to cooking or whatever you're targeting. So this gives it a better example or a better idea as to what the user is expecting. Okay, and for the model, it's going to be OpenAI. And let's click on tidy up. And yeah, this looks good. Let's click on test. Okay, so we have got the output and we have the YouTube titles and all of that for all the 10 approved posts. And now you know the next step. It's just adding it to Airtable. That's it. So we click on Airtable and then create a record. Let's select this. By now, you should be very familiar with this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the table this time is going to be YouTube content ideas. Okay, and then here they are. So let's map it one by one. This is the YouTube title. This is the hook. This is the presentation style. This is problem. It just feels like a game to me sometimes when I'm doing this mapping stuff. So let's put it all. Okay, so status would be not reviewed for now, and then later on I would just go in and change it inside of Airtable. Now for the title, we had put it here. Okay, here's the URL, and this is the post. Great. So let's click on test. Let's go back to Airtable and here, and let's see. Yeah. Okay, so they have been added. Let's go back here. So the YouTube content ideas generator is done. LinkedIn is also very, very similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this entire thing up. So all these, and we are going to basically do Command C or Control C, and then we're going to do paste. We're going to drag it here. We're going to connect it to LinkedIn. And let's just change the prompts. The rest of it remains the same. First, let's change this. So this one is LinkedIn content ideas generator. Okay. Now, this thing remains the same. Title, text, and all of that. The only thing that changes is the system message. Okay. So here's the new system message. Again, the same thing. What you have to do. Who is Yashika? What she delivers on LinkedIn, what is her style, what types of posts she generates, a few rules, and that's it. So I'm telling it to generate a LinkedIn hook. So basically the first opening line, the angle that I should cover in the rest of the post, the core value that it should provide, the call to action, and then a visual idea for any image that I would create for that post. Again, you can just come out of this. Chat model remains the same. This remains the same. This remains the same. But in this one, you're going to change the example. So here's the LinkedIn example. Again, the prompt and this, everything you can copy paste from the resources. And then we are going to configure the Airtable tab to just, paste them. But before that, we'll have to test this. So click on test tab, wait for some time, and it's going to generate the content ideas. Great, so we got the results. So let me move myself here, and as you can see, we have it for all the 10 right here. Okay, now we can just do the Airtable node, which is the last one, and the system would be ready. So let's change the title. Okay, wait, first we'll have to change the table. This is not YouTube, this is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, and yeah, now let's just do the same game again. So this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. Okay, let's click on test tab. Let's see if they are added. Great, this is done. Okay, now this is looking a bit messy, so I'm just going to click on tidy up and I'm going to save it. Okay, awesome. So if you are thinking of running it on a schedule, then make sure to turn on the automation. If you want to just come manually and turn it on sometimes, then you can turn it off. You can keep it off and then just come here and click on test workflow. For now, what I've done is I have deleted all the previous records in Airtable. I've just kept these 3, that's it. Now I'm just going to click on test workflow, and we are going to see how the entire system works in action. So at this point, it has sent a request to Apify. So in the meantime, I'm going to remind you again, the link to the platforms in the description, link to my website in the description, link to the resources where you're going to find the prompts, the JSON, the code and everything in the description. That means you can't forget to check out the description. And if there's anything else you would want me to cover, let me know. And let me tell you that the next step of this AI system could be the AI-powered content generation system. So based on these ideas, it can actually go ahead and generate the LinkedIn post for you, or it could generate the outline or something like that for your social medias. If you want to see that, let me know. And another version of this automation could be that instead of scraping Reddit, you could scrape YouTube comments. So for example, if there's someone like me who runs a YouTube channel and people comment about what they want to see next, so in that case, they can scrape their own YouTube videos comments and then put it into an Airtable base where you can see all the requests that your audience has generated. So by the way, you can also drop in the comments below whatever next build you want to see, and I would love to cover it in the future. This system can really be expanded. You could also add image generation to it. You can do a lot of stuff with it, actually. And these are actually a system that saves a business a lot of time. A person, a founder, a CEO, a lot of time. They don't have to go and research about content ideas. They simply get it in front of them and they can just start writing the post. This is the exact same problem with me. It's not that I don't like writing posts, I do, but getting the idea is the hardest part. If someone tells me that you can create a post on this, then I'm like, yeah, that's great. I can do that. But otherwise, it takes me a lot of time to research about what to create next. And that's why this system comes very, very handy for myself. It's just the starting part. If you get started once, it's all good. Okay, so YouTube is done. We're just waiting for LinkedIn. Okay, so we've got 8 ideas for YouTube. So building scalable AI agents, getting started with N8N, expert AI panel with N8N graph rag, boost AI skills with MCP, mastering MCP, automate spreadsheet data to emails, deploying Docker and Vaha on N8N, fixing local AI automations. Okay, so LinkedIn is also ready. Can AI be the game changer for small local businesses? Let's talk scalability. This is for sure something that I could cover on my LinkedIn and just put it as a post. And then we have something regarding MCP. And yeah, pretty much that. And then we have angle breakdowns as to what all I could talk about. In the post, we have lessons and insights that I could include. We have visual ideas about, let's say it told me that I could put a carousel showing a storyboard, which is great. Then we have CDAs, and here I can just, review it. And we actually have the Reddit post as well, just in case I want to give it a read. So that is pretty much it about this system. I hope this video was valuable and you got to learn something valuable. And maybe after learning this one system, you're able to build 3 more other systems. Maybe you can switch Reddit with YouTube or switch it with something else. It's completely up to you. Apify has a lot of scrapers that you can play around with, right? You can just keep going through and you will get ideas as to what you could do. So if you really found value, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to check out the description. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye.